We came and had a chat with the owner, didn't we? It was off market, so we're the only people negotiating with them, talking to them about it. Properties on this street sell for...
And then what do you think the end value is going to be?
So other similar projects of ours, they're valuing, depends on the value, but they're valuing between about 650 and 700. Well, it will make us 20 to sort of £24,000 a year.
We would have worked, or we will work very hard in our careers, and we would have nothing to pass on to our children.
210 for the refurb, purchase for
267, 750.
What's the end value going to be of this 7-bed fully ensuite HMO? Hello, in this video I want to talk all about the BRRR strategy, which stands for Buy, Refurbish, Refinance, Rent and Repeat. Now, you might have heard about this, but this video is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to actually go to some of my clients' properties in this video and show you exactly what does it actually look like when you do BRRR on a property. And we'll talk about some of the common mistakes people make when trying to use this very successful strategy. So my name's Simon Zutshi. I've been investing in property since 1995. I was able to replace my income and leave my corporate job at Cadbury's in 2001. By 2003, I completely replaced my income and I set up the Property Investors Network, the very first networking anywhere in the UK for property investors, now the largest network in the UK. And I've been teaching people like you how to be successful investors from 2003. And this is a great strategy. You're basically buying a property potentially below market value, and then through refurbishment, you're adding value to the property. You might be extending it using permitted development. You might get planning permission as well. You're basically converting more living space in the property by going up into the attic, maybe down into the basement, creating more bedrooms and thus increasing the value of that property. And you might be sitting there thinking, well, that's okay, but what if I don't have the money at first to put in? This is the amazing point. When you are investing in property, at some point you'll probably run out of your own cash. So most successful investors, we use other people's money. And if you can demonstrate how you're going to put some money in initially, but add value and refinance and get it back, you showed the person how they're going to get their money back. Now here's a really important concept to understand. You don't need hundreds of private investors. When you're using this strategy, you just need one private investor who wants to get a great return on their money, and that's why they lend you the money. It might be a family member or friend who just lends you the money because they want to help you, but most people are lending the money to you because they want to get a great return on their money. After all, if they've got money sat in the bank, it's not going to be doing very much for them. But this way, they can help you and you can help them to make money. And who doesn't want to make money, right? What's not to like? Of course, we're working with someone who's got cash available. We can give them a great return. And once you've given the cash back, they're going to say, well, I quite like getting that high interest. Would you like it again? So using this strategy, you can recycle your money and you can quickly grow your portfolio. And the point of that is you're going to get to the point quicker where you can replace your income. Just as I did, I was able to leave my full-time job at Cadbury's in 2001. I hadn't quite replaced my income, but I had enough to live off. And it took me a couple more years. By 2003, I completely replaced my income. But the way I was doing that, I was buying property and I was sitting and waiting. I was waiting for the value to go up over time. And after 3 to 5 years, I'd refinance, in other words, increase the borrowing, take out my initial deposit and go and buy another property. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but it just takes a long time. Many of my students, because they're using this way of momentum investing where they're recycling their deposit using the BRRR strategy, what it means is they are very quickly growing their property portfolio. Instead of taking 3 to 5 or 8 years to replace the income, many of my students are doing it in a year or 2. And imagine that, if you were able to replace your income in a year or 2. So what I thought I'd do, let me explain a little bit about the process and go into a bit more detail for you. And then we're actually going to go to a couple of the sites where some of my students are doing this, and they're going to talk through the exact numbers on their projects they're doing in the market right now. So when you're doing a BRRR project, you might look for a property that needs taking back to bricks. So what is back to bricks? We're going to show you some video about this. You're literally stripping off all the plaster, going back to the bare bricks of the building, and we're putting new plasterboard in, we're putting brand new electrics in, brand new plumbing in, new heating system. So we're basically building a new house within the existing shell. I'm sure some of the pictures we're going to showing you while I'm talking about this will give you an idea of just exactly what that means. In some cases, we might even take the roof off a building and put a brand new roof in. And particularly if we're doing an extension in the attic, we might be extending at the back with a dormer where we're kind of building a room on the back of the house. And the front of the house, we might have what's called a Velux window. They're windows that are flush with the roof, so they don't stick out, but they open up, and that's a way of providing air and also light into that room. So often in an attic, you can add at least one or sometimes two bedrooms. Now, depending on the pitch of the roof and the height of the roof, sometimes we might lower the floor of the attic, which reduces the space in the room below, because we want to make sure there's enough headspace. And especially with Victorian buildings, there's often really high ceilings, so we can take some of the height from the first floor bedrooms to give us more height in the bedroom. And that's a really important thing. The other thing we might want to do is increase the number of bathrooms. If we're creating an HMO or serviced accommodation, which are the two main high cash flowing strategies right now, we might want to add ensuite facilities, which is in the corner of a room. You have a little smaller bathroom that's got a shower, a hand basin, and a toilet. Now, you don't need to have an ensuite in every room. In fact, sometimes you have shared bathrooms between maybe a couple of tenants. And also you can have what's called an off-suite, where you go out of the bedroom and maybe across the corridor, there's a private bathroom that tenant gets to use. The whole idea is looking at the floor plan and trying to make as much as we possibly can. Often when we also do these buy, refurbish, refinance, rent and repeat projects, we might extend out to the back of the property. So we might build a long kitchen diner. We might put a skylight in to provide lots of light. We might have sliding Velux doors at the back. So it really creates a lot of light, and that can be an amazing living environment to have as a communal room, a dining area, because in the high-end HMOs, we're creating these co-living properties. It's not just about renting a room in a house, it's about creating this amazing community where people get to meet together, they connect together, and they become really good friends. And if people are part of this community, rather than just renting a room in a house, what happens is people form bonds and friendships. They often stay a lot longer in the properties. So by doing a very high-end co-living, what it means is you're going to get a higher rent, but also you get a lower void period, so you can make a much better rental income from your property. Now let's go and visit Michael and Laura, who are down on the South Coast on one of their BRRR strategies. Enjoy the video. So today we are in Southampton and we're coming to visit some of our mastermind students' properties in development. They're creating 3-bed houses into 7-bed HMOs, and I think you're going to be amazed at the figures and what they're going to achieve from these properties. So now we're outside this amazing property, and let's invite the owners, Laura and Michael, to tell us what they're going to do with this amazing project. So guys, great to see you again.
Hi,
how are you doing?
Hi,
Great to see you again, Laura. Hi, Michael.
Hi.
What an amazing building.
Yeah.
How did you find this?
Yeah, so this was off market. So we had a guy come and do our EPCs for us on a couple of our other projects. And then out of the blue, he just called us one day. And he said, I've just gone to do an EPC. The guy's looking to sell it. It's not on the market yet. And I thought it would probably work for you guys. We'd actually been looking at, especially this street, beautiful, lovely big properties, lovely big road.
Yeah, nice trees along.
Nice trees,
Yeah.
no parking restrictions. So
Ideal for HMOs.
It's been on our list. And anyway, so he introduced us. We came and met the guy that was selling it, and agreed a price, and off we go.
Fantastic. And I guess that's because you've done a few projects now. People start to get to know you. They know you.
Yep.
If you do a deal, you're going to do the deal.
Exactly.
And spreading the word and telling everyone what you do is a great way to find deals, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And it's using our network. It's using people.
Yeah. Someone once said your network is your net worth.
Yeah, who said that?
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant. Let's go and have a look inside, shall we?
Let's go.
Brilliant. Let's go. Come on in. So let's talk about the numbers. So what do you buy it for? What are you spending? What's it going to be worth?
Yep. So we bought it for 270. We came and had a chat with the owner, didn't we? It was off market.
Yeah.
So we're the only people negotiating with them, talking to them about it. Properties on this street sell for between about 270 and 330.
Okay.
It was in pretty nice condition. It was in pretty good.
Didn't need a lot of work.
If you were moving in as a family, it wouldn't have needed much work.
Yeah.
He initially just said, we said, what do you want for it? He said 280. And then we had the architects came round and we kind of did a bit of this and that. And then we said, and I think someone's taught me this before, but
Yeah,
said,
the golden question.
what's the lowest that you would be happy with? What's the lowest
Yeah.
that you take and still be happy with?
Yeah.
And he said, 270 will get it done. So
Okay. You
again,
said
for us,
deal.
This
That
deal.
works for us, yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
deal.
Okay.
So buying at 270, it's already quite a big property, so we don't need the extension downstairs.
Yeah.
For the living space, so we're spending probably around 200, 210 on the works.
Okay. And that's for a very high-end.
It's a nice high-end
7-bed
finish,
HMO, yeah.
and it's back to brick. So
Yeah.
we plan to hold on to this for a long time.
Yeah.
It's an oldish property. So we've back to brick just means we've got whole new electrics, all new plumbing.
Yeah.
It just means that if we're looking after it in the years to come, that these things aren't going to need doing.
Yeah.
Before time. It's just like right.
So have
we're
very low
getting in.
maintenance for many years,
Yeah.
hopefully.
So we're
Yeah.
getting in. So let's get it,
Yeah.
do it right.
Okay. And then what do you think the end value is going to be?
So other similar projects of ours, they're valuing, depends on the value, but they're valuing between about 650 and 700.
Okay, so you probably won't get all the money out. You'll
so-
leave a little bit in.
Yeah, we tend to leave a bit in.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's the south, and I think the purchase price is it's tricky to get it all out.
It's
but-
definitely
Yeah.
higher than up north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So what do you think you'll leave in? What, 50 maybe?
yeah,
Or-
50, 60
Yeah.
we think.
And it's going to make you.
So it should make us, it will make us 20 to sort of £24,000 a year.
Okay, so probably pretty much a 50% return on investment, which is pretty good
So
by most people's standards. Still.
It is, and we aim for 20%. We don't want to go anywhere near it if it's not 20%.
Yeah.
So it's gonna smash that.
Yeah,
Whatever it ends up being.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's go and look downstairs, shall we?
Yeah,
Let's
Brilliant. So quite a lot of work to be done on this property.
Yes.
How many weeks are you in, and when do you reckon it's going to be finished?
Yep. So we are about 6 weeks in now.
Yeah, about 6
Yeah.
weeks.
And there's probably about another 4 months to go.
Yeah.
3
So
to
they've
4
stripped out. They're doing the structure.
Yep.
And then
that's it.
first fits.
Yeah.
New electrics, new plumbing. So
All of
a
that.
brand new house, really.
It's essentially going to be a brand new house.
Yeah.
Yeah. New roof. Just it's great. It will look lovely. It will last, all being well.
Well, we're looking forward to come back and see what
Yeah, you'd be
great
very
job you've done on
welcome.
it. Awesome. Thanks so much for showing us around, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Simon.
Brilliant. Thank you. So as you can see, they really are taking that back to bricks, and we're going to go and revisit that property once it's all set up to show you the before and after pictures. Now, I want to be really clear here. A mistake I see many property investors make is they find a potential project, they do the numbers and realize that the end value is not going to be quite enough to be able to get all of their money out. And they think, well, if I can't get all my money out, that's not a good project, and they walk away from that deal. Reality is that you don't always get all your cash out. Sometimes there might be 10, 20, or even £50,000 left in the deal. Does that mean you shouldn't do the deal? Well, no, because once a deal's completed, even if there's some money left in, it doesn't have to be your money. You could go and find another investor who's really happy to get a great return on their money. They want to do it for 3 to 5 years. They could come and plant their money in the property to allow you to release that extra cash to go on to your next project. And I'm going to go and show another case study now of Ian and Laura, also on the South Coast, doing these high-end BRRR strategies. And this is a deal where they've actually left a little bit of money in this property, but they're fine because they're getting a very high return on investment. So let's go and look at the figures. So now I'd like to introduce you to my clients, Ian and Laura. Hi guys, how are you?
Hi, Simon.
Great to see you this
Thanks for
morning.
coming.
Hi
Hi, Simon.
Ian, and hello Darcy as well. So I know Darcy's the boss, right? So he's
Complete
project
boss.
managing everything.
She is.
Before we go and look at the property, do you want to just give us a quick intro about what you currently do other than property, and why did you want to get into property?
Sure. So we live on the South Coast. We've got 3 little children. This is our youngest. We're both doctors. I'm a GP in intensive care, and we really enjoy our jobs. But we wanted something more. We wanted something to fall back on, a legacy for the children. And so we had a go doing it ourselves.
Yeah.
And bought somewhere in Salisbury with a friend, and possibly didn't do things the best way. We didn't get our money out. We found it hard work, physically giving up your weekends. And we wanted to understand how could we do it differently. And that's what led us to coming to do the accelerator about 18 months ago.
Yes, and then obviously I know you came on, Marcel, and Ian, I know you're doing a lot of support from behind. But what's your real motivation for this?
Our real motivation, as Laura says, we're both doctors and we both enjoy our jobs. For me, I want to have the option to not work as I get into the latter stages of my career, rather than feeling like I have to work.
Yeah, so it's that choice, and so you like doing what you do, but it's good to have that choice. So you don't have to if you don't want to, or if you can't for some reason.
And also, I feel like we would have worked, or we will work very hard in our careers, and we would have nothing to pass on to our children. So to have something physical that we can pass on to our children.
And then it's great.
Really
you bring the kids around the projects to get them involved as well. So amazing learning this at that young age, right? How different is life going to be for them? Because hopefully they'll grow up around this.
Definitely. We want them to see us working hard, doing things that are beautiful spaces, people to live in, working with people in a positive way. We really want our children to see that and to grow up with those values themselves, and a drive to create things and to make the most of things.
Yeah, brilliant. So let's go and look at this project.
Awesome. Let's
Great.
go.
Let's go. Okay, so starting at the top of the house, we've always got 2 attic rooms.
That's right.
And this was unused space before.
Yep. So this has obviously been done as a dormer, so we've come out. So this was all under what you can do under the permitted development. So you can do a dormer. So we did the maximum we could add on the top. We have made all of our rooms en suite, which is a discussion. Some people do, some people don't.
Yeah.
We decided that that people would essentially just pay more to have their own. So the way we've done it, where we can, is for up here we've put them back to back. It makes it easier for the plumbing, but also they don't need windows, and so it makes a big difference under the light. You want to try and keep as much wall as you can for the bedrooms.
Yeah, definitely. So you've got a kind of box shape here because you've got the dormer added on.
Yeah.
And then the slopey roof. Actually, let's go and have a look at the next one. We've got the Velux window there, haven't we? So I love rooms like this with Velux windows, particularly 2. It's a very nice, airy, light room, isn't it? And obviously, you've got, as you said, you've got the ensuite back to back with the other one that makes the plumbing really easy. Built-in wardrobes as well.
Built-in wardrobes, they're a bit of extra cost, but for us, actually, if you put something in and then it breaks, then we just felt, actually, let's do something really sturdy, and it means you can get a really nice finish because you can have the doors matching. So we made those the same as the doors, so it just looks a neat finish. Obviously, it's very white at the moment. This is not how it'll look when you come to visit us again. It's going to be filled with colour in really nice spaces.
Yeah, fantastic. Here, let's look at the next floor down.
Of course, come on down. Right, so this is one of 3 on this floor. Again, they're all en suite. I really like this room because we've kept the bay windows, all new windows, making sure that we can make it so it's quiet in here as possible. But it's quite a nice space, and then we've just maximised the head space where we can. We did have to floor drop to make the room for the different floors, so we took both down, which has made a big difference because some of these houses are just so massive on the ground floor, and then you've just not got that head space.
Yeah, definitely. Now I can see there's real potential in this room. And obviously a little bit of the room taken away for the ensuite, but I think it's better to have the ensuite in the room if possible, rather than having off suites or even shared bathrooms.
Yeah, that's what we felt, but
And obviously you get a higher rent if you have an ensuite room.
Exactly.
Okay, good. Okay, so this is the biggest one and 2 more on this floor, and let's go downstairs, shall we?
Sure, let's go and have a look.
So 210 for the refurb.
Yeah, it depends on the finish.
Yeah.
If you're going high end, bigger extension, it sort of adds cost to it. But like I say, spend at the beginning, get it all right, and it should be long-term project, great income.
Okay, and then purchase for
267,750.
Okay, and then obviously if you finance costs. So what's the total cost going to be of the whole project, do you think?
So it's about 5.5, 550, something like that, because
Okay.
of the cost of lending.
And then the big question, with the commercial valuation as a sui generis, what's the end value going to be of this 7-bed fully ensuite HMO?
700,000.
700,000. So you'll be able to refinance, not get all of your money out, but you'll get most of it.
It will leave about 20,000 in for us.
Yeah, and I think it's sometimes a mistake people make when they're trying to do the BRRR method, where you buy, you refurbish, you refinance, you rent out. They kind of think if they can't get all the money out, they think it's not a good project. And, you know, sometimes you get all the money out. I know some of your other projects you are, but sometimes you don't. And then it's looking at how much is left in and what's return on that money. And you're getting about an 81%, aren't you?
Yeah.
Which is a pretty good return.
Still a good deal.
It's pretty
It's still a good deal, isn't it? And then
Yeah.
once this property is all done and dusted, you've paid the mortgage, the management fees, all the bills, what's this going to make you every single year?
About £20,000.
£20,000. £20,000 profit from one property.
Yeah,
That's pretty amazing, right?
really amazing.
And you got 4 of these.
Yes.
And I think you've got some who might be slightly more profitable than this one.
They are, yeah.
Yeah. I guess the first one, which this is essentially, often isn't always the best project. They're kind of learnings, you'll do things slightly differently. So I'm excited to see the other properties later on as well.
Cool.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay. So I think it's been really fascinating. We're going to come back once it's all finished. Let's see if Dan's done a really good job.
Yeah.
And let's check out the designer as well. And so we'll see you very soon when it's all finished.
Great, thanks for
Awesome.
coming.
Thanks for showing us around. Brilliant.
No worries.
So another fantastic project, just shows you when you're buying a property, and sometimes you don't even need to buy that much of a discount if you can add huge value to it. Now, just a point to mention, obviously both Michael and Laura on their deals are using commercial valuations because they're making very large sui generis, which means 7 or more people, HMOs. The one final point I want to share with you on this video is you might be sitting there saying, this is amazing, Simon. I love the idea of recycling my money, using momentum investing, but I don't have the money to start off with in the first place. How on earth am I going to get going on these projects? Well, both Michael and Laura in those case studies, they're both doctors, they both had some money to start with, but to do the number of projects they're doing, again, very quickly, they ran out of their own money. And here's the point you need to understand. When you find really good property deals, and by that I mean profitable property deals, there's plenty of profit for you to share with other people. It could be on a joint venture basis where someone puts some money in, you do the work, then you share the rewards. You also share the risk as well. Or it could just be a loan where people put the money in, and once they get the money back, you have entire interest in the property. They have no further interest once they've got their cash and interest back. Now, my recommendation, by the way, if you're doing a project where you can take all the money out, you probably do not want to do a joint venture because you're giving away half the cash flow and half the equity, even having given all their cash back to them. But if it's a project where you're leaving some money in, maybe doing a joint venture is a good idea, or just recognize you can use other people's money. Now, the idea of raising other people's money, how on earth do you do that? Why would someone lend to me? Can also be another really big mental block that many investors have. Totally understandable. So I actually have some online training all about how you can grow your property portfolio using other people's money. So if you're not already using other people's money, or you don't even quite understand how to even go about doing that, make sure you click on the link in the description below and come and join me on the online training when I teach exactly how you can do that. And by the way, it's not as difficult as you might think. A lot of it's all about mindset, and also you do not need that many private investors to get all the property you want to get to achieve your property goals. So click on the link, come and join me on that online training. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, put a comment in, but ideally I'd like you to subscribe to the channel and also hit the bell icon to make sure you're notified anytime a brand new video comes out. I do hope you enjoy this. I look forward to sharing more with you on my next video. As ever, I encourage you to invest in knowledge, invest with skill.